Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Bitto. Today we're going to talk a little bit about lawsuits. You know you've arrived as a small business owner when someone sues you. Well, at least that's what I've been told. I've been sued twice in my business, and so I have a little experience with the whole legal system and with the whole process of being sued. And plus, I've talked to countless entrepreneurs about the whole thing, and I've learned a lot that way too. So I want to impart my knowledge onto my viewers today in this short video. There are certain ways you can protect yourself from lawsuits. I'll talk about that, but first I want to talk a little bit about the three steps that I've seen that lead up to lawsuits. The first step is a phone call or initial contact with you. The person who's suing you is using this initial contact to try to test the waters to see if you're suable. Okay, so you'll get an email or a phone call from the person who's going to sue you to try to see what's going on, to size you up. And then usually the second step in the whole lawsuit process is a letter from an attorney, usually called a cease and desist letter. And that's sent to you registered mail or certified or whatever they're calling it these days. And that's supposed to strike fear into your heart. Oh no, you better do what I say or else this will escalate. And then the third step in the whole lawsuit process is actually being served with a lawsuit. So like I said, I've been sued twice. I will not go into the details here with you today, not because I'm under some sort of gag order or something, but because I don't want to bore you with the details. You just want the basics. That's why you're tuning into my program. I promise you the basics, so I'll tell you the basics. So, in my first lawsuit, I was very complicit, and when the guy called me, I was very nice, and I said I would comply with the laws, and that's my nature, to want everybody to win and to try to work out a solution. But if somebody is going to take the power of the state, the power of the government, and try to get something out of you that they really don't deserve, well, that's a certain type of person. And that person doesn't really deserve that kind of respect. So the big piece of advice that I have, besides getting liability insurance, and I'll get back to that later, but the biggest piece of advice I can give to you is to try to cut them off at the pass, and during that initial contact, end it right there. And I have been approached twice since my two lawsuits, and what I'm about to tell you has been effective in dealing with these people so that the possible lawsuit didn't escalate to the attorney letter and then to being served the suit. So what I did in the past two threats, when the people called me and hinted that they were going to sue me or subpoena me, I did one simple thing. I acted crazy. Crazy. I gave them the impression that I was nuts. I didn't lose it. That's something different. I didn't lose my cool. I didn't get emotional and upset. I acted crazy. I made them think twice about messing with me. I left them thinking that I might do something to their car or their house or something, which I would never do. But I left them with that impression, and they thought twice about it, or I'd like to think so, and then they stopped whatever little scheme that they had brewing because they were afraid of me, and that's it. And I normally wouldn't act crazy, but 2.5 minutes of crazy on the phone will save you 2.5 years of going back and forth in the whole legal process. My first lawsuit took 2.5 years out of my life. And it's true what they say in those guess your real age quizzes on the internet. You know, they always say in these quizzes, subtract 2 or 3 years or some amount of years from your real age if you have been the object of a lawsuit. Okay, and I can see why, because especially your first one, it's pretty stressful. You don't know what don't know what's going to happen and so on. But I would say try to head them off at the pass and save yourself all of that time and the grief down the road by just acting nuts on the phone or through an email with them. But the biggest thing that I think that can save you from actually going through the ordeal of the lawsuit is if you have proper liability insurance. That can protect you. You can get to the point of a lawsuit and the liability insurance will take over provided you have the coverage, and then an attorney will be assigned to you by the insurance company, and then the attorney will run the show. There's some good and bad things about that. You really don't have control over your lawsuit when the insurance company steps in. But I think if I were to do it again, I would just give all the stuff to the attorney and say, okay, it's out of my hands now, and not even involve myself with it. My first lawsuit, I did involve myself with it, and I was coaching the lawyer. The lawyer was less than mediocre because I thought, hey, I want to win. I did have a stake in winning, even though the insurance company was behind me, because, if you make a claim on your insurance rates go up. That's pretty standard for anything. So make sure you're aware of that as well. But the insurance company will take care of everything, and they did for my first lawsuit. My second lawsuit was a small claims action by a crazy customer, and I just dealt with that myself. But if you put yourself out there, you are going to put yourself in the way of crazy people who want to sue you, or people who think that you're a pushover and they can get something out of you by using the power of the government in the form of a lawsuit. So protect yourself, and there's no shame in acting crazy if it's going to save you a lot of grief. So my advice to avoid lawsuits is head them off at the pass and make sure you have really good liability insurance. That's all for today. Remember to work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.